Every country in the world has tons of debt. America's debt has exceeded $38 trillion, breaking a record. Europe has 14 trillion. Japan has 9 trillion in debt. Even oil-rich countries are in debt. So if everyone is in debt, who is this debt owed to? Who is everyone indebted to? The interesting part is this. The world is indebted to itself, but that doesn't mean everyone benefits equally. The biggest cause of debt: wars. In 1694, England was fighting France and ran out of money. The king went to the merchants. "Give us money and we will pay you interest from tax revenues." Thus, the Bank of England was founded. The government began spending money it didn't actually have. Merchants, meanwhile, received a promise from the government, a bond. This system worked so well that other countries copied it. A new era began where debt wasn't something bad, but a sign of power. In the old days, lands were conquered for gold. Now, bonds are issued for interest. Fast forward to today. Global debt has surpassed $315 trillion. Every country has debt. Every bank lends money. Every citizen both pays taxes and lends money through pension funds. So, who holds the other end of the rope? The U.S. example, a kind of funny loop. Half of the U.S.'s 38 trillion debt belongs to investors. The public. About 70% of these investors are Americans, American banks, pension funds, investment funds, insurance companies, the Fed, U.S. central bank. The remaining portion belongs to Japan, China, and European countries. So yes, the phrase, "the U.S. owes China," is true, but only for a very small portion. America is mostly indebted to itself. The government issues bonds. Americans buy them. The Fed buys them back and prints money. Americans pay taxes. The interest goes back into American retirement accounts. A complete self-borrowing loop. This loop exists all over the world. Japan lends to the U.S. The U.S. lends to Europe through the IMF. Europe lends to developing nations. These nations use their foreign reserves to buy Western bonds again. It's a giant global IOU exchange game. Everyone is holding someone else's debt paper. It's like a card game where everyone has borrowed chips from each other. The only rule: no one leaves the table. The real power. Financial markets and central banks markets decide which country gets cheap loans and which ones pay expensive interest. If confidence disappears, the currency collapses, the government falls, the economy crashes, democracy chooses who governs, markets choose who survives. Central banks are the wizards of this system. They don't just manage debts, they create new money. Every currency we use today is actually a form of debt. There is no such thing as money without debt in the system. The shocking truth: governments don't plan to pay off debt. Yes, you heard that right. Governments do not try to eliminate their debt. The system is built on this. Debt is renewed to pay off older debt. This is called refinancing. What matters is not paying the principal, but paying the interest reliably. The U.S. will never pay off its 38 trillion. Japan has been rolling over debt for decades with no issues, because government bonds are the safest investment in the world. If the U.S. tried to pay off all its debt, banks would lose their safest asset. The dollar supply would shrink. Deflation would begin, markets would collapse, so paying off the debt would destroy the system. That's why governments continuously issue new bonds. Politicians saying we'll eliminate debt is just a story. The real goal is to keep debt sustainable. If confidence collapses, the cost of borrowing rises, the economy stops. The hidden secret of the system. The goal is not to pay off debt, but to make people believe it will be paid. The missing part of "we owe it to ourselves." Yes, it looks like a country owes money to itself, but interest payments flow upward, from taxpayers and ordinary workers to very wealthy investors. So debt is not only a transfer between countries, but a transfer from the poor to the rich. That's why as debt increases, inequality increases as well. There is no single villain at the top, not China, not Wall Street, not the IMF. All of them play a part, and so do we. Modern finance creates money through debt. Governments issue it, banks multiply it, investors buy it, citizens use it. Debt is now the balance of life. But if that balance breaks, the story ends. Because debt, at its core, is one thing: a promise that cannot be kept forever.